All right, guys, this is what I've been waiting on to see if it'll fit in the passenger side area. I know I've told some of you guys I had something in mind for that, and I do. This is going to go with this video here, so hopefully it fits. If it doesn't, well, we're back to plan A or B or whatever again. Yeah, different plan. So I've ordered a kicker TB subwoofer system. So you have a 10-inch sub and you have a passive radiator into the kicker as well. And I'm planning on mounting it underneath the seat. One of the reasons I was planning on mounting it over there is because I want to put a cooler in the back. And then I was thinking about getting like a license plate mount for my license plate that I haven't showed you guys yet, but I was thinking of just taking the license plate and attaching it to the back of the cooler, leaving it in the back, bolting the cooler down to the golf cart and just leave it in place like that. I wish this was an active unit, meaning I wish it had an amplifier built into it, but it does not. So I bought an amplifier. I bought an MB Quart marine amplifier, brochures and stuff, a sticker. This is not sponsored. I bought this right here, everything. This is one of the mounts. So this mount here and this mount here is to mount the woofer vertically. So you can stand it up and down. But we're not doing that. Right. Okay. Does it have mounts for horizontally? Yep, this is the mount here for horizontally. Oh, okay. Let's see if it'll fit right there in that location. We may have to come in here and raise it up some. I don't know if it's going to fit against this right here and that right there. It's close. It is close. I think it's going to fit. It might not fit initially, but we might have to make it fit. It's a little bit. So it is a little bit. So it's sitting on this right here. So we're going to have to take this plate. Remember, that's why I said I didn't want to paint it. Remember on one of those other videos I said, let's don't paint this plate because we might have to modify it again. Anyways, I might have been talking to somebody else. So we're going to have to take this plate here, mount something up on it to get it vertically up. Then once we do that, the subwoofer should be able to mount to it. We should have plenty enough room inside of this compartment area. All right, guys, so here it is. The sub is in. It's not touching on the back wall. It's just behind the body there as well. And I had to cut some 2x2 square tubes to put those on. I'm gonna mark where the square tubes are. We're gonna weld them up and we're gonna paint everything before we finish up this install here. I was really hoping to have some room to mount the amp, maybe back here, but I might have to mount the amp to the inside of this wall here. Not exactly sure just yet where we're gonna mount that at, but this has taken up a lot of room, but a little bit of measurements online stands tall and stands correct that this right here will, it will work. So, wanna see how close it is? Gee, that thing is tight, but it should sound good. Man, we measured that one. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can maybe mount the amp down here. Maybe we can slide this over enough. I can mount the MB Quart amp just down on this metal plate here. But there it is, guys. That's what it's gonna look like. That is very close. But we did some measuring and hopefully this right here turns out to be perfect. So, all right, the sub is in place. Very, very tight here. I'm gonna test fit the body. Let's see if it'll work. If not, we might have to redo something else, but I think it's gonna be very tight. So the sub is in place. It's not going anywhere. Got the body on. Talk about clearances. Goodness gracious. I mean, only thing we need is a little bit of clearance, and that's what we got here. kind of worried about fitting that one piece of aluminum in here now, because we got to mount the hinges to that, but that's where we at right now. Very tight. I may have enough room down here to put the amp. I'm about to go get an amp real quick and see if I have enough room to mount the amp directly down here. But this kicker sub is in place and the body is on. See, it's down along that channel there. On the other side, it's along the channel as well. So, looks good. We're just cramming it in here, so. So this is the amp I'm going to be using to power the kicker here. So MB Court. And I'll place a link to it in the description below. But it was less than $100. I think it was like 80 something bucks. But it's a little marine amp, 400.2. Very tiny. That's what we're gonna need in this right here build, so we can get as much room as possible. My plans was to see if I could mount it down here, and I just have barely enough room. So not sure if I'm gonna make my wires come out that way there. This will be my speaker harness, this will be my power harness, and then I have my RCAs back there. Yep, there it is. So I'm getting to the point that I need to install the dash onto the golf cart. So I went ahead, I bought one of these sleeves here to go over the steering column. Got a chrome adapter to go with it. Let me show you the steering wheel. If you've been watching the channel long enough, you've seen me install a couple of these right here. I really like the Forever Sharp steering wheels. It's a little bit more pricier than golf cart steering wheels, but I like to do non-golf cart stuff to mine. I think it just makes them stand out from the crowd. Plus, like the golf cart steering wheels are mostly made of plastic and they're really cheap. They bend real easily. So this is the steering wheel that I've got. This is just like the horn button cover. But I went with wood grain with chrome in the center. Even though I'm from South Carolina, you would think I'm from Texas because I like to grip grain, but I think that's pretty cool looking. I didn't get the one with rivets. I almost got the one with the rivets that was located on it. I really like those as well. But this is the one I chose to go with. I've had this now for probably 3 or 4 months, just sitting in the box waiting, but I've opened it up once or twice just to take a look at it and say, hey, one of these days I'm gonna put you on, and well, it's about to be that time. So I need to run the wire for the radio down to the mic tuning switch box. I need to run the wire for the amplifier, the remote turn on. I need to run the sub preamps also for the RCAs. Go ahead and put the speakers in the dash in. I might go ahead and just bolt it up in place. I'm thinking about putting the extra battery turn on, maybe right here, maybe the battery meter right here. I'm not 100% sure yet. I don't like a lot of stuff all over my dash. Even though like this right here, I'm still undecided on where I want to put it at, and I need to decide. I thought about mounting it directly here on this face. It won't fit really here. You know, I can make it vertical. I thought about putting it beside the radio once I put the radio in, but the radio, I'm gonna probably have to cut out a piece of ABS plastic to cover the majority of that single den there, because I went with a marine kicker stereo. So, all right, so these are the speakers I'm gonna be using here. These are the Kicker Marine KM65s. I did not get the speakers with the LED lights because I'm not paying that much extra just for LED lights. I'm just not gonna do it. Came with a template where you can cut the inside of it out. It's got a spot to level up. It's got up, down, everything. So that will be come in handy when we're cutting the back cover. I'm gonna put 2 in the back cover and I'm gonna put 2 in the front. This is the speaker. I had many questions One of my questions was the tweeter a part of the speaker itself, or like the mid bass? I thought it was like a coaxial speaker, but it's not. And if this right here can help anyone, I wanted to show you that as well. The build quality on this right here is pretty good. Okay, got your positive and negative leads there. You got a gasket right here already, so that's good to know. So yeah, that's a good looking speaker in there. I'm glad about this right here because I don't like the coaxial speakers where the tweeter is actually a part of the cone down here. I don't like that, so I may like these here. My next thing was what color, because it comes with a white grill and it comes with a charcoal grill. And well, I'm running a wood grain here. So I was looking at the white since the body of the golf cart's white, but don't really know about that. And then the black, I mean not black, but charcoal gray. And it fits in this dash right here without having to trim anything, I believe. You know, I would rather this thing right here have been black, but I think the charcoal gray is gonna look better than the white's gonna look. So this is probably what I'm gonna run here. So Kicker provides you with these templates here, and it's slotted in the inside. You can take a razor blade, cut it out. You have that right there. So since I have two sets, I'm gonna have two of these. I'm thinking about putting two of these on here. I'm gonna have to take it apart here in a minute, line it all up. I'm really thinking about putting the gauge for the Roy Powell in here, and maybe the extra switch itself to turn it on and off with, just so I don't have to mount it on the dash. You know, I can always just look at it when I get onto the golf cart or whatever. So I don't know, just thinking, just playing around, and I really don't want to cut the dash up if I don't have to, but it's kind of what I got in mind.
Slow down, mama, why you talk so mean? Good Lord, man, shit, it ain't what it seems. Got nice clothes, nice shows, boogie down at the bar. Fiddle tunes and homemade blues, but it always goes too far. Shooting pool, crack a jack, take off now, don't look back, but hey, don't you wanna play? Hold on, sugar, why you look so sad? Come on now, mama, ain't nothing here so bad. You got fast cars, movie stars, party on down the street with Mary Jane, good cocaine, laying it down there to eat. You can double down, throw some dice, you can take off now, don't think twice, but hey, now don't you wanna play? Baby, go on. Tell me where you wanna go. But baby, I don't work down there anymore.
Well, there it is. We got the speakers mounted in the back. I still need to take the speakers, this panel back out, and wire the speakers. The wire's already there, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take the body back off a couple more times. One, I gotta mount that cross brace that goes on the front there. Another thing we need to do is to get a template out. I'm gonna put the radio on this side of the dash here. And then I'm planning on using this beside it, and it's gonna have to come over just a little bit. I don't wanna do that, but I don't wanna put it anywhere else, so I was really back and forth on the radio. I called a few buddies, asking people some, their recommendations, you know, on newer stereos. And in the past, I've always ran non-marine stereos, and I've always had a little bit of anxiety if it's ever left out in the rain, or if we're trailering it somewhere and it starts to rain. And I just pulled the trigger. I went with a Kicker KM65, and it's supposed to be a pretty nice unit here. Thinking about mounting this in the dash, okay? Like, this is the Kicker cover here. Thought about mounting the Kicker there and then mounting the mic tuning switch box there, so it kind of covers up the single DIN slot. I don't know, I'm just back and forth on what to do with this right here. I don't like the mic tuning covering or overlapping right here, but at the same time, it's not covering up anything. I thought about putting the mic tuning, you know, down here. That doesn't look bad, okay? But I'll have to fix a gaping hole here behind the radio.
But baby, I don't work down there anymore. No, I don't. Get back, get on track, jump on, ride this thing. Double down, roll the dice, take off now, don't think twice. Hey, don't you want?
Oh yeah, that was good there. Right here. All right, so I got the radio, got these two bolts here mounted, got one other bolt mounted. And what I've done is I've taken a piece of aluminum in here, strap. I just got to do this one right here next. Okay. And how I'm holding that bolt in is I'm taking, or the nut, I'm taking just a 7mm, because that's the size it is. Got the nut right there taped, so the nut shouldn't come out. Hold it in there while I tighten it down. And I did that to this top one here, and she's in there tight. I'm gonna do this one right here. Probably don't have to do this one right here, but I figured while they're probably this far, we might as well do 4 in there. Another thing I did that I didn't show you guys is I mounted the battery external on and off switch down here, so it's kind of hidden. So not sure if y'all seen that earlier or not, but yep, there it is. So I never made an outro to that video, so I wanted to show you. This is the dash here, how it turned out. Speaker looks pretty good in there. That's how I mounted the mic tuning. I just used double-sided tape to mount it so I could access the back of it if I ever had to. The radio, the other speaker. That's the switch to turn the battery on and off. Remember, I did the ATV key switch on here. I did that in a separate video. I think it looks pretty good. Now, I didn't show a video of the floor because I made a separate video a while back on that. The seats are done. I didn't show anything of the seats. If you remember, a couple of years ago, I did a video on these seats right here. These are Lazy Life seats. I had them on a little Club Car President. They're actually made for a Club Car President. And I had them left over from that golf cart, and then I put them on my big Club Car President 6-seater that was lifted on these 35s as well. And I had them left over after I got rid of that cart. So in order to make the President seats work on the Club Car DS, I actually took another piece of lower section from a Club Car DS lower base. And I took the flap disc on the side grinder and tried to flap it down as much as I could, so when I painted it black, you really couldn't see it, and you really can't see it, you know, probably unless I just pointed it out. Now, the seat here is a little bit wider than these handles, so I had to come in here with the flap disc to just the handles themselves and clearance them. Okay, then I just took 2 lag bolts from the very back, or from the very bottom, and put them on there. But these seats, they're mounted temporarily. I really did not want to run a back seat on this golf cart here, but I'm thinking of putting one on here now. I have a set of Lazy Life back seats that would match these. I could put those on there as well. This is the speakers in the rear here. The gauge doesn't look bad. I had a license plate made. I got it off of Etsy, and I just made it, you know, it's not a legit license plate, and I have not been bothered with it just yet. I thought I was going to be, but I haven't been bothered with it. I did the clear tail lights on there. I did not want to do regular red tail lights because everybody's got regular red tail lights. I wanted to make mine clear. I think it's just a clean look. Those lights are on because it's in reverse right now. I love the radio a whole lot. It's got everything I need. The only thing I really use it for is Bluetooth, but it has USB input. It has auxiliary input, AM, FM. I think it has a weather band as well. The volume knob, that's the one thing I like the most about it. The buttons feel really good. You know, I kind of splurged on the radio. I've never spent that much money on a radio for a golf cart before, but you know, I just wanted it to match the cart. You know, I didn't want to put a cheap $100 radio into this golf cart that just, you know, I mean, it just does not look like it needs a $100 radio, you know. But we did the floor. I did these side covers here. Those came from golfcartstuff.com. I have a link in the description below where you can check those out. Yeah, so again, I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna keep just a 2-seater. I thought about, you know, putting a back seat, put other Lazy Life seats on there as well. Not even sure if I'm gonna do it yet or not, but I like it. I just don't like the seats here. You know, I got a bolt in here and I got 2 bolts in there, and it's still kind of leaning just a little bit over here. That one's just leaning over here, and I do not like that, to be honest with you guys. But it is what it is right now. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good for what it is. So sub sounds pretty good on there. Not sure if y'all can hear it out on camera or not, but got some royalty-free music going so I don't get hit with a copyright. Not sure if you can see that or not, but the seat rattles. This tends to rattle a little bit here on the front portion. Another thing is on this side, the sub is barely hitting right here. Not sure if you can see that in the video or not, but it's barely hitting right there. All right, guys, appreciate y'all watching today's video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you guys want to do. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.